Hopeful Hampton is about the community coming together, community officials, government officials, community members, schools, churches.
Every life that we are able to save or every shooting we're able to stop, that's what keeps our future going.
It has been very successful, and as a result of that, we are seeing our numbers go down in a tremendous way.
That's the important thing about this program.
It's not a spectator sport. You have to get involved.
Everyone in the community coming together to make Hampton a better place.
And here at the VA Eagles, we pride ourselves on not only wins and losses on the field, but also in life. A lot of the times if games don't go our way, sometimes as athletes and sometimes even as coaches, we tend to focus on just the negative part of the loss. It's bigger than football, it's bigger than sports, it's bigger than basketball. When it comes to losses, we don't accept they cheated, or we don't accept it's his fault, it's her fault. Win or lose, you have to do it a certain way. Always remain calm, composed, and collected, and we're going to move on to the next play or the next game. At the end of the day, we want to teach life lessons to these kids.
I partner with the Office of Youth and Young Adult Opportunities. We go into the schools, we discuss decision-making skills, gun violence awareness, prevention, coping mechanisms, dealing with your emotions. Another prevention component we have is our JCAP summer program, where we introduce 6th through 10th grade students to law and public safety career fields in a positive light. So during one of our first screenings at Hampton High School of the EKG program, I encountered a student who blatantly told me, "Why should I listen to you? You don't even know my name, so I know you don't care about me." And I said, "I do know your name, and I do care about you." And based on some behaviors witnessed inside the classroom, I refer him to the Hopeful Hampton Divergent program based on the resources that they provide. I felt it would be a great resource for him as well as his entire family, since there are wraparound services.
I want to thank you for opening up the way you did, because I know it was hard for you to, first of all, trust, am I right?
Yeah.
Why was it hard for you to trust at first?
Because they're around new people I don't know. I don't know if they've been through what I've been through or seen what I've seen. So just getting other people's perspective in life, it just helped with yours. You know what I'm saying?
So how do you feel about me being your mentor?
I feel good about you being my mentor, because I feel like we already had connected when you first seen me, you feel me? You already had some stuff to exchange words and stuff. So I think, taking time meeting each other it's only right for you to be my mentor. I already met you.
When I seen you in the room, before I even knew that you was my mentee, I was already advocating for you. Not even knowing your whole backstory, only knowing what I knew from coming to the school and seeing you. Because I saw more potential in you that day. Am I right? When I seen you that day, you were sitting in the back of the class, sitting back doing that, and what did I say to you?
It was like, she said, you think you gangster? Something like that.
And then I said what?
It's like, you think you're blood?
And then I told you what? Come on up front.
Yeah.
And then we had a conversation.
In class, you showed me your background video.
So I tell people, man, my resume allows me to get in the rooms with people like you.
I did 27 years in prison, wrongfully convicted. But during that time, I didn't want prison to become an excuse for me not to become a man. So I got involved with my growth and development. And doing that, I saw my worth. I fell in love with myself, man. I saw a lot of people hurting and in pain like I was. You know, and hurt people, you know. I see young brothers, man, going through the same things I went through. So that's an inspiration for me to want to really get involved and stay involved.
I grew up in the projects, Lincoln Park projects to be exact. I was adopted by a gang culture at a young age. Led to me to make some decisions that led me to prison as well. So I came to the program to, you know, bounce back and get a redemption at this thing called life.
So what are some of the goals that you set for yourself while in the program?
I don't want to die.
Jalen has a strong will like me. You know, he wants. And that's the first thing you have to want. And he actually wants, you know. Now, the road getting there, it's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be because when you learning something new, yeah, you start out good, then you may, you know, revert back, then you got to start over again, then you get a little further, and eventually it builds up to a habit. So Exodus is not an act, it's a habit. So we want to create a habit of sustainability, man, and he come every time. He's the first one here. He come every time, you know what I mean? So, you know, we're gonna keep pushing at this thing.
Mr. Troy helped me in a lot of ways, mostly mentally, because I let my pride get in the way a lot of my decision making. So I had to learn to a true warrior know when they defeated versus when they know they can win. So I had to learn how to choose and pick my battles. Ain't no point in fighting a battle you know you're gonna lose. But I'm willing to fight any battle that I know I got a chance at winning.
I'm a problem solver, so it brought me here. When I was young, I had mentors, and growing up and in business and in the community, so I know the power of mentorship. It's only right that I come and do my part.
What brought me to the program was I was trying to make some money so I could help my family out and try and build my own lawn care business. I started making money when I was 12 to help the family out more because I ain't had no father. It was me, my five brothers, 2 sisters, and just my mom. That's my queen right there, my Wonder Woman, my superhero. My mentor, he helped me out. He kept me focused, kept me on the right path, guiding me, giving me advice, and I'm taking it, using it as positive.
I came to this program. It was a recommendation from my lawyer. He said they was good people, and he trusted y'all to help me find a better path to change the trajectory of my life.
Who are some of the people that have been most helpful in the program for you, and why?
My mentor, because he been through a lot of stuff that I'm going through or will go through, so he always got advice. JT, because if he telling me I'm tripping, I know I'm tripping because he be tripping. So he helped me. That's real life. He helped me.
There be a lot of people problem, they don't actually get stuff a chance, and once you actually give it a chance, you'll realize like it definitely can help you. It's what you take from it. But you gotta want to try to change. Cause the opportunity is here. You're gonna meet a lot of guys with life experience that could definitely help punch you in the right direction.
Personally myself, I'm a selfless individual. I consider myself a leader, but I also want to pay it forward and help change not only young men, but just young people's lives. One of my clients that I actually mentored, who, based on his circumstance, it was hard for him to even make it to school on time, to make it to any appointments. But one thing I knew about him that related to me was that he was selfless, but he was also a go-getter. He always was all about family. He's very family-oriented. And he always wanted to make sure that his mom was okay. One thing that he did, I received a phone call, it was like 2 days before my birthday, and he thanked me for pushing him to be the great leader that he wanted to be. He started doing the right thing and checking in with me, and he just wanted to say, Mr. Josh, I got my goal written down. Mr. Josh, I'm getting closer to my goal. And one thing that he wanted to do in appreciation, he wanted to go fishing when I came back. But unfortunately, he did end up losing his life to gun violence. But on a positive note, the legacy that he left behind, and just to see the steps from what he was doing, because he was just growing as an individual, and being that leader, stepping into that role where he knew that what he was doing, he thought he was doing it not just for his family. He just started doing stuff to rebuild himself as an individual, and rebuilding himself as a leader.
Every time I'm assigned to a mentee, I'm always intimidated because I got to get this right. And I have to get this right, man, because when I was in prison, my son wrote an essay about the lack of leadership in the African American community. And as I'm sitting there and I'm reading this, I'm supposed to be the leader in the African American community for him. And that's how I got started in this work. What made you trust me early on dealing with this program?
Just knew I needed help. It's like my mom tried to help me, my grandma tried to help me, my dad tried to help me, but I ain't listen to him for real because he was the end of my life. So I just took it upon myself. It was like, all right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. See how it gets me. You feel me? It don't hurt to try something new.
From the age of 14 to 38, I was either in prison or on probation, man. I just went to the White House. It's never too late. But you took the first step because you came. And not only did you come because you came because it's court order, but you participated. Even right now in this moment that we're talking right now, you don't want to be here. You don't want to be seen. But you participating because you want better. And that's the start of it. So tell me, how has this program helped you?
It made me open up my eyes. Like a lot of stuff that I used to do, I don't do it anymore. I think twice. And just like before, you know, if something go down, quick to call you.
That's right. You did it today. You called me today, man. You asked me to pick you up from school. Because if I did, you might slap somebody. And what I do?
Pick me up.
That's right. We just started, man. The program ends in a couple of weeks. This here is forever. I love you.
Love you too.
The Hopeful Hampton Divergent Program, or the HHD program, is a 12-week program that aims to reduce community trauma and promote safety. Previous to my time here at the office, I worked with juveniles who were incarcerated, juveniles who were on home electronic monitoring. I worked as a liaison for the courts. It's been cool to be able to come more on the preventative side and work with some of the same people that I worked with prior. However, I feel I have more impact, I can do more. For example, I had a client on home electronic monitoring a few years ago that I worked with, and I was able to work with them again coming to this office, but in a more positive way. They went through the first cohort of the Hopeful Hampton Divergent program. After that, they graduated successfully, and they are now an intern with our office.
One of the key benefits of implementing a mindfulness practice with individuals who have dealt with trauma is it helps regulate their emotions and manage stress so that they're less likely to make impulsive decisions. Implementing daily mindfulness practices not only assists with this, but it also formulates a sense of peace within that they can take with them every day out in the community.
What brought me into this program is because when I was growing up, I had a real hard time. You know, living the way that I lived, you know, took me down a road that I didn't want to go down. Eventually led me into using drugs, selling drugs, robbing people, just doing all the things that I know I was not supposed to do. Eventually, I just kept pushing forward and ended up taking the life of an individual and served 22 years in prison. While I was in prison, I started, realizing after the death of my mother that it was time for me to go ahead and go back the other way and correct some of the things that I had, done wrong. So what is it about you? What led you to this point now?
What led me to the point now is dumb decisions. That's the reason why I'm in here in the first place. And I'm accomplishing my goals here too. I got better on thinking before I do something. I've been going to my therapy and that's been helping me out a lot. And I've been writing down like my feelings in a notebook and that helps a lot too. So it's just overall good here.
Public safety has what I would call like a three-legged stool. You have prevention, you have intervention, and then you have enforcement or prosecutor work, which I do. And so my involvement is the enforcement piece. We are responsible for enforcing any violations that may take place. In addition to, we many times will refer individuals who are already in the judicial system to programs such as Hopeful Hampton, hoping that maybe they will turn a different leaf, or hopefully some alternative disposition can help put them back on the right road towards success and be a productive member of society. A friend of mine brought a young man into my office. He was a senior in high school, had gotten in some trouble in a neighboring jurisdiction, and they were hoping that maybe I could kind of get to the root of what was going on and give him just some advice about life in general and making good choices. And we talked for about 2 hours. And at the end of our conversation, it was just evident this young man was attracted to the streets. Both his parents were professionals, raised in the church, good home, knew his parents loved him, didn't have issues with them. He was just attracted to the streets and he was a follower. And I told that young man, I said, listen, if you continue with this type of behavior, it is not going to end well with you, either the grave or to prison. Probably maybe 2 months later, he was charged with second-degree murder, and he got 25 years to serve in prison. Great home, great potential, smart kid, bad choices.
So ultimately, the goal is to prevent teen violence. We do that through providing resources, through various assets, through Hopeful Hampton. However, there is a very small segment of the community that are committing such high volume levels of violence, for instance, shootings or homicides, that unfortunately we don't have a choice, but we have to investigate them, we have to arrest them, and we have to incarcerate them. Ultimately, that's what keeps our citizens safe. Several years ago, we had a couple groups of teenagers that all lived in the same neighborhood. And they got into a verbal argument, and then unfortunately they just started shooting at each other. And it made it really dangerous for the residents in that community. And I remember going to a house and telling a mother that if she doesn't intervene, her son's gonna either be shot or be killed. And that was in her living room, and she was obviously very upset. But their house had just gotten shot into the night before, and we believe it was probably the rival gang that did that. And she did just that. She got him out of the area to move with a family member. And ultimately, we ended up keeping in contact with the other side of the rival, if you will, to where we were knocking on their doors. We knew mom by name, she knew us by name. And ultimately what happened is, through those connections, the violence just ceased. Sometimes people need to hear that your child is in serious danger of being hurt, and we can stop it if we take action right now.
Tonight, a community is grieving the loss of a 17-year-old Hampton High School senior. Hampton police say Baquan Newton was shot and killed last Monday on Michigan Drive. Today, his fellow classmates and nearby community held a candlelight vigil in his honor. 10 on Your Side's Michelle Wolf was there, all new tonight.
Dozens of classmates and members of the community stood together tonight remembering Baquan Newton. The 17-year-old's mother told the crowd she won't rest until whoever killed her son is behind bars.
My son did not live the lifestyle that aligned with the way that he left here. Like, Baquan was an amazing kid. He was just like so much light, so much light and good energy. I had a mom reach out to me on social media maybe about 2 months ago when everything first happened. And she said that her daughter remembered him and said that when she was a freshman here in South Carolina, that Vaquan showed her how to get around and he wouldn't let anybody pick on her. He made sure that she didn't get lost and she knew where all her classes were. And that was when they were freshmen. That was years ago. And he moved down to Hampton and he carried himself with him everywhere he went.
We think that Hopeful Hampton is a step in the right direction when it comes to preventing violence, encouraging and engaging our youth in the community.
And it's continuing to grow each and every single year.
So with Hopeful Hampton, we have an opportunity to take a full hard court press when it comes to preventative mechanism or intervention mechanism in order to be able to increase or enhance public safety in our city. Hopeful Hampton brings to the forefront the three-pronged approach, which is prevention, intervention, and enforcement. You cannot prosecute your way out of crime. The reason is because most of these underlying issues that create criminality is the result of issues going on in the home. So as a result of that, it is imperative that we get to these young individuals at an early age to find out what is the root of the issue and then hopefully be able to guide them through that tough patch that they're currently experiencing.
Even though my son was killed in Hampton, I have grown to love the city of Hampton even through tragedy. The amount of things that are in place in that community is just astounding.
I'm hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it, let it take you away and be hopeful, hopeful, and he'll make a way. I know it ain't easy, but that's okay, cause we hopeful.
And yo, I get nervous. Why you don't go first, bro?
Young man.
You going viral, bro. Don't worry about it. We'll get paid.
Oh, hi, my name Malachi. What brought me to? Oh, I was about to say that. All right. Because I feel like I'm in the studio. Yeah, I'm Malachi.
We hopeful.